Module 4. Exploring Leadership, Culture, and Change Strategies in Educational Administration. Subcultures within educational institutions reflect the diverse identities and values that connect to broader societal culture, influencing school dynamics and change processes. Effective school change, particularly through the empirical rational strategy, relies on evidence-based approaches and stakeholder engagement. Success often requires integrating the systems approach to organizational development, ensuring cohesive progress. Transformational leadership inspires innovation, while moral leadership prioritizes ethical decision-making and equity. Transitioning from transactional to moral leadership fosters trust and collaboration. Together, these frameworks highlight how understanding cultural influences and adopting strategic leadership approaches can create sustainable improvements in educational administration and promote a shared vision of excellence. Understanding subcultures and their connection to broader culture. Subcultures are smaller groups within a larger society that possess distinctive attributes, values, and practices. These groups emerge due to shared experiences, interests, or circumstances that set them apart while remaining connected to the broader cultural framework. Subcultures often exhibit their own unique norms and behaviors, yet they simultaneously reflect the overall culture's values and influence. Within a school district, each school can be seen as having its own subculture. These subcultures are shaped by various factors, including the socioeconomic background of the students, the leadership style of the administration, and the traditions that evolve over time. For instance, one school may emphasize academic achievement and competition, while another fosters creativity and community engagement. These differences form the distinctive characteristics of each school's subculture, yet they often mirror broader societal values such as the importance of education, collaboration, and individual growth. Subcultures, while unique, are not isolated from the larger culture. Instead, they often serve as a reflection of the overall cultural environment. For example, a school in a district located in an urban area may incorporate aspects of the surrounding city's culture, such as diversity and innovation, into its subculture. At the same time, schools in rural areas may reflect the broader cultural emphasis on tradition and community ties. This interplay ensures that subcultures remain tethered to the overarching societal framework while maintaining their distinctiveness. School change and the empirical rational strategy. School change, when approached through an empirical rational strategy, relies on the premise that individuals will adopt new practices or innovations if they are presented with evidence demonstrating the benefits of change. This approach assumes that people are logical and will act in their best interest when they are provided with adequate information and compelling reasoning. Implementing change through this strategy focuses on building understanding and acceptance by emphasizing data, research, and clear communication of outcomes. For example, a school aiming to integrate technology into classrooms might use an empirical rational strategy by presenting teachers with data on how digital tools improve student engagement and learning outcomes. Professional development sessions could showcase research studies highlighting the effectiveness of technology in enhancing problem-solving skills and fostering collaboration among students. By allowing teachers to see real-world examples of success and providing them with opportunities to experiment with these tools in a controlled environment, the school builds a foundation of trust and credibility. Another instance could involve introducing a new curriculum designed to improve literacy rates. Administrators could share empirical evidence from pilot programs showing significant gains in reading comprehension and standardized test scores. When teachers understand the reasoning behind the change and see proof of its success, they are more likely to support its implementation. This strategy is particularly effective in environments where stakeholders value evidence-based decision-making. By focusing on facts and outcomes, the empirical rational approach minimizes resistance to change and encourages informed participation. For school change to succeed under this model, leaders must prioritize transparency, provide accessible evidence, and create a culture of open dialogue. When stakeholders see the tangible benefits of a proposed change, they are more inclined to embrace it, fostering a smoother transition and sustainable improvement in educational practices. The most effective change strategy for success. Change is a constant in both personal and organizational contexts, requiring deliberate strategies to navigate its complexities. Among the many theories about effective change, most experts agree that a collaborative and participatory approach has the best chance of success. This strategy, often referred to as the participative change model, emphasizes the importance of involving all stakeholders in the change process, fostering engagement, understanding, and commitment. The participative approach acknowledges that change cannot be imposed from the top down without resistance. It thrives on the principle that those affected by change are more likely to embrace it when they have a voice in shaping it. By involving employees, team members, or other stakeholders early and throughout the process, leaders can tap into diverse perspectives and uncover potential challenges or solutions that might otherwise be overlooked. This inclusivity not only improves the quality of the proposed changes, but also builds trust and reduces uncertainty. Furthermore, a participatory strategy aligns with psychological theories that emphasize the need for autonomy and ownership in driving motivation. When individuals feel they are co-creators of change rather than passive recipients, their sense of accountability increases. This heightened sense of responsibility can lead to greater effort in implementing and sustaining the desired changes. Research also supports the effectiveness of this strategy, showing that organizations employing participatory change initiatives experience higher success rates and reduced resistance. Transparency and open communication are cornerstones of this approach, ensuring that stakeholders understand the reasons behind the change, its benefits, and their roles in the process. The systems approach to organizational development in educational administration. The systems approach to organizational development views an organization as a complex network of interrelated components working together to achieve shared goals. In the context of educational administration, this perspective is particularly valuable as schools and educational institutions consist of various subsystems, such as teachers, students, administrators, support staff, and external stakeholders, all functioning within a broader social, economic, and political environment. This approach emphasizes understanding how these subsystems interact and influence one another. For example, in a school setting, the curriculum design is not isolated from teacher training, student performance, or parental involvement. A systems approach would require educational administrators to consider how changes in teaching methods might impact student learning outcomes, teacher workload, and even parental expectations. By addressing these connections, administrators can foster an environment of cohesive improvement rather than fragmented efforts. An example of applying the systems approach in educational administration can be seen in the implementation of technology in classrooms. Instead of merely introducing new software, a systems-oriented administrator would examine the readiness of teachers through professional development, the availability of resources such as hardware and technical support, and the potential effects on students' engagement and learning styles. By considering these factors as parts of an interconnected system, the implementation process can be more seamless and effective. Another example is improving student attendance. A systems approach might involve identifying factors such as transportation issues, school climate, and family support, addressing each as part of a larger framework rather than treating attendance as a standalone problem. This holistic perspective ensures that solutions are comprehensive and sustainable. Transformational leadership in educational administration. Transformational leadership in educational administration is a powerful approach that inspires growth, fosters innovation, and builds a collaborative environment within schools and academic institutions. Leaders who embody this style go beyond traditional management practices, engaging their teams in ways that ignite passion and encourage shared commitment to a unified vision of educational success. A transformational leader in education often demonstrates a clear and compelling vision for the future, which they communicate with authenticity and enthusiasm. For example, a school principal might articulate the goal of achieving equity in student outcomes, setting high expectations for all students, regardless of their backgrounds. Through this vision, the leader motivates teachers and staff to embrace new instructional strategies and approaches that challenge existing inequities, creating an inclusive learning environment. Such leaders are deeply committed to professional development, both for themselves and their teams. In practice, this might involve an educational administrator actively participating in workshops and bringing those insights back to their staff. They often encourage teachers to pursue innovative techniques, supporting their efforts with resources and providing constructive feedback to foster growth. By modeling a willingness to learn and adapt, they inspire their teams to do the same. Transformational leaders also prioritize building meaningful relationships within their institutions. For instance, an educational administrator might spend time connecting with teachers, understanding their challenges, and addressing their concerns in ways that affirm their value. This approach fosters trust and collaboration, ensuring that staff feel empowered and supported in their roles. Moral leadership in educational administration. Moral leadership in educational administration is a guiding principle that emphasizes ethical decision-making, integrity, and the commitment to fostering an environment that promotes the well-being of all stakeholders. At its core, moral leadership requires educational administrators to prioritize the values of fairness, respect, and justice while navigating the complex challenges inherent in their roles. This approach is essential in shaping not only the culture of educational institutions, but also the character and futures of the students they serve. Educational administrators who practice moral leadership understand that their decisions have a profound impact on teachers, students, parents, and the broader community. They strive to lead by example, demonstrating a steadfast commitment to ethical practices even in the face of adversity. For these leaders, transparency and accountability are not merely administrative obligations, but moral imperatives that build trust and reinforce the credibility of their institutions. Central to moral leadership is the ability to balance competing interests and make decisions that align with the greater good. In diverse educational settings, this often involves addressing issues of equity, inclusivity, and access to resources. Moral leaders advocate for policies and practices that ensure all students, regardless of their backgrounds, have the opportunity to succeed. They are attuned to the social and emotional needs of their school communities, recognizing that education is not solely about academic achievement, but also about fostering holistic development. Leadership, from transactional to moral. Leadership styles significantly influence how individuals and organizations function, shaping outcomes and relationships. Among the various approaches, transactional, transformational, and moral leadership stand out as distinct methods, each with its own impact. Of these, transactional leadership often proves to be the least effective, while moral leadership represents the pinnacle of guiding principles and ethical responsibility. Transactional leadership focuses on exchanges between leaders and followers. This style operates on a system of rewards and punishments, emphasizing task completion and compliance rather than personal growth or innovation. While this approach may yield short-term results, it often fosters a mechanical relationship devoid of inspiration. Followers in such environments may feel unvalued, reducing motivation and loyalty. Transactional leaders rarely encourage creativity or consider the broader ethical implications of their decisions, limiting the potential for long-term success and personal fulfillment within their teams. Transformational leadership, in contrast, seeks to inspire and elevate followers. Transformational leaders focus on creating a vision, fostering innovation, and encouraging personal development. They build trust and empower others to strive for excellence, often going beyond self-interest to serve the collective good. While this approach can drive significant change and improvement, it requires a strong ethical foundation to prevent the misuse of influence. Moral leadership stands as the ultimate ideal, prioritizing integrity, fairness, and the welfare of all stakeholders. Moral leaders emphasize doing what is right, even when it is difficult or unpopular. Their decisions are guided by ethical principles, fostering trust and a sense of purpose among their followers. By aligning their actions with universal values, moral leaders create environments where individuals and communities thrive. This approach transcends transactional exchanges and transformational visions, focusing on the greater good and the inherent dignity of every individual. Thus, moral leadership represents the highest standard, offering a model of enduring and principled guidance.